Okay, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how to create or how to do challenge number 3, which is Space Invaders. Okay, so you have your blaster, you have your alien, your blaster shoots your alien and then explodes and you get the you win. Okay, so you're going to start by opening Piscal app, click create sprite. We're going to change our frames per second to 4 and then we're going to resize to 128 by 128. Okay, so I have Piscal app open. I clicked on create sprite already. Under the stage, it says 12 frames per second. We're going to go ahead and change that to 4. And then over here on the right, click resize. And instead of 32 by 32, change it to 128 by 128. Make sure your foreground color is black. Click your paint bucket here, and then click on your background. It'll turn it black. Okay, so that's our background. Okay, now we're going to create our alien. So the first thing we're going to do is add a new layer. So we're going to click the plus button in the layer section and name it alien. We're going to choose a color. And then we're going to go ahead. I used 2 for my pen size, and I drew this alien. Notice his arms are going up in the air, and his legs are kind of going out a little. That's what we want to do for this particular alien. Okay, so let's start by adding our new layer. So in the layer section, click the plus button, double click. Oh, I didn't change my words here. Layer 1, can we please double click on that and change that to the words background, and then hit enter. And then double click the words layer 2. Let's call it alien. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Alien, and hit enter. Okay, I'm going to go over to my color and I'm going to choose a color, and I'm going to choose something in the blue range for my alien. Okay, so somewhere maybe around blue. I'm going to make sure your pen size is around 2. Okay, I'm going to start by drawing just a little rectangle, and make sure it's up in the upper left-hand corner because that's where your alien is going to start. So draw a little rectangle. I'm going to use my paint bucket and color it. And then I'm going to use my, my pen tool, and I'm going to draw little antennas coming out the top. And obviously yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine, but the arms and legs I do want to look like mine because we're going to change the direction the arms and the legs are going when we're going to draw a second alien. Okay, or we're going to change this one alien. And I think I gave him eyes. So I'm going to use my eraser tool, and I'm just going to erase a couple things in the middle there. And there's my little alien. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to click create my rocket blaster. So we're going to first add a new layer. So we're going to click the plus button in our layer section, name it rocket blaster, and it's going to be drawn in the bottom right corner. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to click the plus button in my layer section. Instead of layer 2, I'm going to double click, and I'm going to call it rocket blaster. Okay, I'm going to choose a color. So I went somewhere in the like little lightish or dark white, lightish gray area, but you don't have to make it that color. You can make it whatever color you want. I started this, again, bottom right corner. I started with a little rectangle as well. Oh, that might be too low. I'm going to Control Z, and I'm going to draw that a little higher. Okay, I'm going to color that. That's, you know what, that's too big. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to use my color, my paint bucket, and color it. And then if you go back and look, I did kind of a top thing on it and then little legs going up the sides. So I'm going to use, oops, that's not the one I was working on. This one, I'm going to use just my stroke button, and I'm going to go out a little and then up a little. And then I'm going to do the same on this side, out a little. Oops, hold on. I actually don't like how that looks. I'm going to go out a little bit more. And then I'm going to go up. Nope, I'm doing it again. I'm going up. Yeah, that's a little further away. You know what? I am so sorry. I think my rectangle is too big, and I'm erasing part of it. I don't want my blaster to be so huge. So I'm just using my eraser, and I'm just erasing part of this just to make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to move. I'm actually erasing all of this. All right, I'm going back to my pen tool, and I'm going to go out a couple, and then up, and then out a couple, up. Oh, that's a bad one. Obviously can't draw a straight line. And then I'm just going to do like a couple of just layers up here. And then that's good enough, right? I'm going to use my eraser tool, and I'm just going to erase a little bit in the bottom center. Oh, that looks like a perfect blaster. Okay, so just do the best you can with it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I think I like how mine looks. I think it looks good. All right, to create the second alien, okay, we're going to first duplicate the frame, and then we're going to add a second frame. We're going to select the alien layer, and then we're going to use our eraser and our pen tool to change the angles of the arms and the legs. So the arms will go down and the legs will turn in. Okay, so we're going to duplicate. So up here in the top left, go to your frames, and this little piece of paper is going to pop up. You're going to duplicate the frame. Okay, go over to your layer section on the right, select your alien layer so your alien is selected. I'm going to use the eraser. I'm going to erase this alien's legs, and you can zoom in if it's too far away, but maybe zoom in a little bit. I'm going to erase his legs. I'm going to erase his arms. I always say him. It could be a girl. I'm going to go change my color back to the blue. Go back to my pen tool, and we want the arms to be going down. So kind of curve them down, and the legs to curve in like that. And then if you look, you're going to notice your alien up here in the top in your preview section. Our alien is now, his arms are going up and down, and his legs are going in and out. So that's how we want that to look, okay? Moving on, we're going to add some frames. Now this is going to seem a little tricky and monotonous at the same time. We're basically going to copy frame one. We're going to duplicate frame one, drag it down, and then kind of keep duplicating. So we're going to click frame one and duplicate it, okay? So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go back to frame one. I'm going to duplicate it, okay? And then it says drag frame two to become frame three. And you're probably thinking, well, why are we doing this? Let me just drag this down and I'll show you. The reason is frame one is the alien with his arms up in the air, okay? Our original frame two is the alien with his arms down. Okay, when we duplicated frame one, we had one up in the air and then another one up in the air. So we're kind of trying to switch it off. So like the odd numbers have the alien with his hands up in the air, the even numbers have the aliens with the hands down, and then it will, it'll kind of go back and forth between those two. It'll rotate between those two. So we're going to keep doing that until we have 10 frames. Okay, so now I'm going to duplicate frame two. We already duplicated frame one, so now I'm going to duplicate frame two. So I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to take the new frame three and I'm going to drag it down below frame four. Okay, we've now duplicated frames one and two. So next I'm going to duplicate frame three. I'm going to go to frame three. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to grab the new frame four and move it below frame five. Now we've duplicated one, two, three. So now it's time to duplicate frame four. So on frame four, I'm going to click duplicate. I'm going to drag the new frame five to become the new frame six. We've now duplicated one, two, three, four. So now I'm going to duplicate frame five. I'm going to drag the new frame six below frame seven. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate frame six, and I'm going to drag seven down to become the new eight. I'm going to duplicate frame seven. I'm going to drag the eight over down to nine. And finally, I'm going to duplicate frame eight, and I'm going to move nine down to 10. So now we have 10 altogether, and it should be every other one. I'm just gonna make sure. So one is up, two is down, three is up, four is down, five is up, six is down, seven is up, eight is down, nine is up, 10 is down. It works. Okay, so all of my 10 frames are perfect. Okay, let's go back to the instructions. Now it says to move the alien across the canvas. Make sure the alien layer is selected. Select the move tool from our toolbar. Make sure your onion skin is turned on so that we can see where the shadow of the frame before it, where the alien was located on the frame before it. We're going to select frame two. We're going to move the alien a bit to the right. We're going to continue selecting frames and moving the alien to the right. It should be about halfway across the canvas by the time we get to frame 10. So we're only going to move it a little bit because we're going to take all 10 frames to get it to the center of the canvas, okay? So I'm going to go to frame two. Make sure your alien layer is selected. Make sure your onion skin is turned on. You're going to use your move tool on the toolbar, which is the hand. You're going to put your mouse on the alien and you're going to move it over to the right a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go to frame three. I'm going to move it a little bit further. Okay, I'm going to go to frame four and I'm going to move it a little bit further. And then five. And you're going to keep doing this for all 10 frames until it gets to about the center. Okay, so if you're moving it too much, maybe lower make your movements a little bit less. Like I think it looks like I have a big gap in here. I'm going to Control Z and go back because I think I moved it too far. Oops, I'm going to scroll up here. Okay, all right. Make sure I still have 10 frames. Okay, all right, I'm going to go to frame two, onion skin on, alien layer, hand, and I'm just going to move it a little bit. Go to frame three, move it a little bit more. Go to frame four, move it a little bit more. Go to frame five, move it a little bit more. Go to frame six, move it a little bit more. Okay, go to frame seven, move it a little bit more. And frame eight, Whoops, I'm still on 7. Frame 8, a little bit more. Frame 9, a little bit more. And finally, frame 10. And it should be just about centered or maybe a little bit more than center. But, oh, I had some big jumps. It's like I started out little and then he goes fast. I'm going to leave it, but I probably should make some more adjustments because I think I did too small of movements and then some big movements, but that's okay. All right, to move the rocket blaster across the canvas, we're going to make sure we're on the that the rocket blaster layer is selected. Select our move tool from our toolbar. Please make sure your onion skin is still turned on. We're going to start with frame 2. We're going to move the rocket blaster to the left a little bit. We're going to continue selecting frames and moving the rocket to the left. We're going to be halfway by the time we get to frame 7. And then we're going to drag it to the exact same spots for frames 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So first thing, go to your layer section, select your rocket blaster. Make sure your onion skin is still turned on. We're going to go up to frame 2. So select frame 2. Make sure your move tool, the hand, is selected. And take your rocket blaster and move it to the left a little bit. Okay, go to frame 3, move it a little bit more. Okay, go to frame, I'm going to move it just a tiny bit more. Frame 4, move it a little bit more. Frame 5, move it a little bit more. Frame 6, move it a little bit more. And finally, frame 7, move it a little bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to actually move it a tiny bit more. I'm just going to make sure. I'm just looking at my preview. Okay, and then frame 8, I want you to move it to the exact same spot it was in frame 7. And then go to frame 9, move it to the exact same spot it is in frame 7 and 8. And then go to frame 10, move it to the exact same spot it is in frames 7, 8, and 9. And then if you look at your little preview, hopefully your alien moves enough. I'm gonna move my alien a little bit more. So I'm gonna go back to my alien layer, and I'm gonna go back to frame 2 and move it a little bit more. I'm just gonna do a quick. I just think my alien didn't move far enough. And the problem is, it's not really a problem, but it's gonna look like he didn't get blasted, like he doesn't line up with the blaster if I didn't have him moved a little bit more. So I'm just trying to move him so I know that he's lined up with the blaster by the time he gets to these later frames here. All right. Okay. All right. I think we're good. All right. So now we're going to create a laser coming out of the rocket blaster. So we're going to go to frame 7 first. We're going to click the plus button in the layer section. We're going to name it layer. So let's do that. Okay. So I'm going to go back. Okay. I'm going to go to frame 7. So make sure you're starting on frame 7. So click the plus button right here to add a new layer. Double click the words layer 1. Call it laser. Okay. We're going to go to our color, and you're going to choose a color for your laser. I was choosing something in the bright yellow. But you don't have to make yours bright yellow. You can make yours whatever color you want. And I'm going to click on the stroke tool. And then let's go back to the instructions. All right, so I'm on step 5 here. Select the stroke tool from the toolbar. Draw a straight line laser coming out of the top center of the rocket blaster. Okay, so let's do that first. I'm going to go to the top center of my rocket blaster, and I'm going to draw a little laser line, just like that. Okay, now the next steps are going to be a little interesting. Okay, whoops, go back here. All right, we're going to use the rectangle selection tool from our toolbar. We're going to select the laser. We're going to Control C to copy it. We're going to go to frame 8. We're going to Control V to paste it. We're going to move the laser up, and we're going to continue this process until the laser connects with the bottom of the alien on frame 9 and the center of the alien on frame 10. So we have to shoot the alien. So let's go back. Go to your toolbar on the left. Find the rectangle selection tool. It's down here right below the hand. Take your mouse. I want you to draw a box around the laser. Okay, I want you to do Control C on your keyboard to copy. Control C. Okay, I want you to go to frame 8. So go over here to the left and click on frame 8. I want you to do Control V and then hit your Enter key. Okay, that now moves the laser or copies it onto frame 8. Use your hand tool on the toolbar, and I want you to move your laser up about halfway, let's say, halfway up your screen. Okay. Now I want you to click on frame 9. So go over to the side, click on frame 9. I want you to do Control V again and hit Enter. Notice your laser's down here at the bottom. Let's move it up so it's just about at the bottom, whoops, at the bottom of your little alien. Okay, now let's go to frame 10. I want you to do a Control V again, hit Enter. grab your laser. Did it not work? Let me just make sure I'm still, yeah, okay, it's still, okay, it's working. Huh. And have it go into the center of the alien. So if you look, notice the little laser. Let's see if I can make this bigger. The laser is shooting the alien now. Okay, now we need to do the explosion, right? So to create the explosion, we're going to start the explosion on frame 9. So I'm just going to go to frame 9 right away. Go to frame 9. Okay, we are going to go to our layer section. We're going to add a plus button, and we're going to name the new layer explosion. So I'm going to go to my layer section. I'm going to click plus. Instead of layer 1, I'm going to double click, and I'm going to type explosion and hit enter. Okay, I'm going to go back to the instructions. All right, we're going to choose a color, probably somewhere orangish. And we're going to select the pen tool from the toolbar. We're going to draw a couple of scribbly lines over our alien. We're going to change the color to something yellow, draw some scribbles, change the color to red, scribble. Then we're going to go to frame 10, add some more scribbles. We're going to duplicate frame 10 to make a frame 11 and add some more scribbles, and then duplicate 11 to have a 12 and make more scribbles. So I'm going back. I'm going to change my color to something in the orange range. Okay, maybe a darker orange. Okay, I'm going to use my pen tool, and I'm going to change my size to 1, my pen size. I'm just going to do a couple scribbles. Okay, I'm going to change my color to something in the yellow range. I'm going to do a couple more scribbles in yellow. I'm going to change my color to red. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more scribbles. I'm going to go to frame 10. I'm going to go, now my colors are over here already, so I'm going to click on the orange. I'm just going to add some more orange scribbles. I'm going to switch over to that yellow color. I'm going to add some more scribbles. I'm going to switch over to the red. I'm going to add some more scribbles. Okay, I'm going to duplicate frame 10 down here. Duplicate. Now I go to frame 11. I'm going to switch my color back to orange. Do some more scribbles. Switch it back to yellow. Do some more scribbles. Switch it back to red. Do some more scribbles. Duplicate frame 11. Go to frame 12. Switch my color to orange. Add some more scribbles. Switch my color to yellow. Add some more scribbles. Switch my color to red. Do some more scribbles. That's a big explosion. You can see the explosion getting bigger as the frames go by. Okay, next thing we have to do is the you win. Okay, so let's go back here. To end the game, we're going to duplicate frame 12. On frame 13, we're going to select the explosion layer. We're going to use the eraser tool to erase the entire explosion. Then we're going to select the alien, use the eraser tool and erase the alien. We're going to select the laser. We're going to use the eraser tool to erase the laser. And then we're going to duplicate frame 13 and 14. Okay, so we're going to start on frame 12 and we're going to duplicate it. So let's go back. Let's go down to frame 12 and click the duplicate button. Now we're on frame 13. Click your eraser button. I'm going to change my eraser size to 4 just to make it easier. And with your explosion layer selected, start erasing your entire explosion. Now you can still see its shadow because we're only erasing it on frame 13. It's still on frames 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, I want you to click on your alien layer in your layer section over here. And with your eraser, I want you to erase your entire alien from this layer. And then I want you to click your laser layer and erase it. And we're going to keep our blaster. We're not going to erase our blaster. Okay, so now we did all the erasing. We're going to duplicate frames 13 and 14. So I'm going to go down to frame 13. I'm going to click duplicate. I'm going to go down to frame 14. I'm going to duplicate. We are now on frame 15, and this is where we're going to create the you win backdrop. Or it's not a backdrop, we're not in Scratch. The you win screen, okay? So on frame 15, we're going to click the plus button, and we're going to name the new layer you win. So let's go do that first. Go to the layer section, press the plus symbol. Instead of layer 1, let's double click and type the words you win and hit enter. Okay. And then we're going to click a primary, choose your color for your text. And then we're going to use the stroke tool and we're going to write you win. And then we're going to duplicate 2 more times. Okay. So I'm going to use the stroke pen. You can free draw too, but stroke at least does like straighter lines. What color do I want? I'm going to do pink. I don't know why, but I am. Okay. I'm going to change my pen size back to 2. And I'm just going to start writing. And you can do it as pixelated as you want or as non-pixelated as you want. Like if you don't want to do straight lines, you want it to look more pixelated, go ahead and do that. It's completely up to you. You win, and I'm going to do an exclamation point at the bottom, you win. And remember, we're going to take frame 15, and just so you win stays up a little longer, we're going to duplicate it twice. So duplicate it and duplicate it, so you have 17 frames. And let's just do a quick watch and make sure everything works out okay. Let's see if we can make this bigger. All right, so there goes my rocket. Let's get this out of the way. All right, let's try this again. All right, good, good, good. The blast, it hits it. Yay, you win. Yeah, that looks perfect. All right, we are ready to save and export. So I'm going to go back here. It says when done, save. Click the save button, name it Space Invaders. So over here, you're going to click save. Where it says title instead of new Piskel, you're going to call it Space Invaders. And you're going to save it as a Piskel. Okay, and you're going to notice it's going to download. You're not done. You cannot turn in a Piskel on Canvas because it will not work. So then you have to export it as a GIF. Okay, so we're going to go back and notice there's an export button just below. Okay, please make sure your resolution is somewhere between 1500 and 2000, just anywhere in that range, because otherwise when you turn it in, it's super small and I can't see it. So just move your scale bar so it's somewhere between 1500 and 2000. When you're done doing that, you're going to click the download button. Make sure you're on the GIF tab. Click download, and it's thinking down here. It's saying it's creating the GIF, so it might take a little bit. But once it creates the GIF, it's going to download right here next to the Piskel, and that GIF is what you're just going to go ahead and drag onto the rocket ship in Canvas in order to submit. Okay, and you should be able to. I don't know if it's going to open. Let's see if I open this. It should open, and I should be able to see the GIF working. Okay. Hopefully this was a fun one for you, and good luck. Okay.